Manish bhai, Nishit bhai, are we okay?
Uh, not seeing the live notification.
I've got both
Okay,
live.
yeah.
Yeah, both are live now.
Facebook is live, yeah.
Okay. How about YouTube, Manish bhai?
Sorry, I'm not on yet.
Good afternoon, viewers. We're just setting up the equipment. I don't have my lovely supporters because of the clampdown in London. We can't travel, we can't go to each other's houses. So, yeah, I'm struggling by myself to set up the equipment. We are nearly there and we're going to start within a minute. Okay, Nishit bhai is watching me. And Manish bhai, are you okay?
Yes, we are live on YouTube as well.
No, Facebook. And I think, yeah, who's doing Facebook? Whatever. Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. Let me get started. As you can see, I don't have my musketeers with me, so I'm on my own at my own house because we've been asked in London to stay in our homes. And we are trying to do this thing with very limited support, with my very limited technical knowledge. And we are addressing a very serious issue, and that is why I'm very keen that a lot of you follow what I go to say, and we will take on challenging questions from the viewers via YouTube or via Facebook page. First of all, before I start my session, let me just try and remove serious misconceptions that are parading in the social media, which is very damaging and very, I must highlight that. First of all, a lot of Hindus somehow feel that whenever such disasters come, it is to do with law of karma. Now, law of karma doesn't kind of wait in the corner saying, okay, now I come and catch this humanity, there will be nasty people, so let me come and hit them. There is no such mechanism as such. Law of karma simply recognizes that things are interconnected, and sometimes, things that we set into motion has certain results to follow. But these kind of disasters are nothing to do with law of karma. We have had many other disasters in the past, many serious issues in the past, plagues, cholera, smallpox, yellow fever, Spanish flu that killed 40 million people. It's nothing to do with law of karma waiting in the sidelines saying, okay, I hit humanity. That's number one. Second, some people somehow feel, this is nature taking revenge. Nature is coming back at us. Nature doesn't have this kind of vicious, vindictive character whatsoever. Nature is just nature, full stop. So what is going on and how should we address this issue? A few other things I must kind of address immediately is this. There are a lot of nonsense parading in the social media which has to be put on the sideline, which has to be immediately demolished. For example, there are certain religious personalities in India who somehow feel they can ride the back of coronavirus to somehow aggrandize themselves. That we know all this. And there's one guy who's saying that if you can hold your breath for 30 seconds or something, that means you don't have virus. Now this is utter rubbish, utter nonsense. It's very damaging and distressing. If it was possible to diagnose coronavirus with such simplistic technique, then all these millions of pounds, billions of dollars that are being spent now by the world, medical community to try and find a resolution of how to detect coronavirus would be put on the sideline. They simply say, listen to this religious man in India, hold your breath, and if you are okay, that means you don't have. That's nonsense. So be aware of this kind of nonsense being used to kind of aggrandize some individuals for themselves. And some say, just ignore it or something. It doesn't work. I mean, if you see this ostrich, if it faces danger, it puts its head in the sand. Think the danger has gone away. The danger doesn't go away. The only positive things I can say regarding Hinduism and how we can react to this as follows. We have always been saying the underpinning to this reality is something dramatically different, very grand and great, which is manifesting itself in a living form and then becoming more complex as human beings. And this underpinning is dramatic, we say. We call it the spirit, the Brahman. When it manifests itself in the material world, it is open to abuse. It can be hurt by nature itself. This is not new. Since living things came on earth, they have always been fighting nature external to continue to survive. This we agree. And we say the force that we possess, the spirit, is very powerful. It is able to fight back. So the thing that we must take into account from Hinduism is simply this. The thing that we possess is so powerful, it has always been able to fight such calamities in the past, and it will fight this calamity as well. That's the only positive thing we can take from Hinduism. Not with some gods and goddesses and all this thing. The other thing that I see all the time in the media is this idea of astrology being brought in. Come on, grow up. Listen, Jupiter moving from this place to that place is going to destroy these viruses or create the viruses. Come on. So need to be very mature, put a foot in the ground, on the floor, and think carefully in a sober manner. So what I'm hoping to present is a sober vision of Hinduism that in a way does not talk this, doesn't allow for this nonsense to be paraded. So these are the key issues that really worry me, and I must kind of put them immediately, on the sideline, saying, watch out, Hindus, don't get caught up with this idea of law of karma or some gods and goddesses, throwing, a problem in our face, or this astrology. Grow out of it. Think for ourselves. The positive thing we have to take about from our tradition is this. Underpinning that is within all of us is so dramatic, so powerful. It has fought many such disasters, and it will fight this disaster. That positive attitude is the thing that we need to culture, and not this kind of negative nonsense that is being kind of shown by all these babas in India. Grow out of it. Anyway, I've really done my initial, because I really get worked up about this. You know why? I really feel very grieved. You see, in the first world, like UK here, we are able to somehow sustain ourselves, find some resolution, try and hide against this disease and so on. But imagine people in India. Where do they hide? Where do they get their food, sustenance? How can they isolate themselves? This is a crowded, dense nation, very poor nation, and I really shudder to think what's happening in India. Shudder. What's the future? But that's all I can do. I can simply offer you the deeper vision about Hinduism, which will in a way, perhaps hopefully, give you that extra confidence to tackle this issue head on. The issue is not going to be handled by through some kind of drinking garlic juice and all that. The issue will be handled by this very important allopathic medicine that we know about, that has got the ability to see exactly what's the genetic makeup of this particular virus and fight it or try and counter it. And that's why they are working hard to do that. See, unfortunately, what we are facing at the moment is not a blip. I hope it was a blip. Disappears within 2 weeks or 1 month and we can be out of it. It's okay, it's gone. It is not a blip. It's a long war. It's going to drag out. The moment we stop isolating ourselves, again it will come and hit us. So this is an ongoing story. It's an ongoing fight. So it is not going to be resolved easily. It is going to take, hopefully, very likely to take a year or more for us to really overcome this disease or find some vaccination. So it's a long drawn battle, and we have to be ready for it, and we have to try and roll up our sleeves and see what we can do best for each other. Anyway, I've given you my initial take on it because I really get worked up and I'm very worried, very, very worried and very, very distressed to think about, especially the third world countries, the poor people. Where can they hide? How can they hide from this disease? It's such a frightening scenario. So, I don't know what else to say. Anyway, Nishit Bhai, any questions from your side, sir?
So, Jay, during this time, a lot of people have gone into fear mode because we look at the news and everything they talk about is usually quite negative and puts people into fear mode. However, when it comes to religion, you find some religions, like you mentioned, trying to say that, they're using coronavirus to push forward their religious agenda. Okay. Now, what would you say about certain sects or certain religious movements who are trying to do this and take this religion?
Okay, let me both have very interesting issues that you raised. First of all, since living things came on earth, there are two modes they adopt. Either fear, means run away from danger, or fight, roll up the sleeves and come fighting. This has been the condition of all living things right from the beginning. Either they run away from and fear, or they roll up the sleeves and fight. I'll face up the brute. Now, what is our take? Our take is this. In this particular case, fear is very dangerous because fear in a way reduces your immunity. So fear is the last thing you want to do. Even though things are very fearful, I'm fully aware. I'm worried as well. But even though we are worried, I'm saying do not take on the mode of being fearful because your immunity goes down, you're asking for trouble. So even if you are struggling, try and take on the second mode, which is to say, I'll fight it, I'll stand up against it. So it is pure, look, this virus is not going to listen to you. Oh, the gentleman is so clever, he's taking on the forceful mood. The idea is this, at least it will build up our immunity and help us a little bit. So this is one positive thing. The second thing that I again seen in the media, there are some religions which are very, very outlandish religious ideas. They think that, oh, this is the perfect way for God to take, revenge and send us to hell or whatever. Look, grow out of it. This idea of this kind of very oversimplistic and this kind of, traditions which are really outdated is necessary for us to put them on the back burner and not get caught up by them. Don't get worked up about them. There are some people who are so brainwashed they can't think of outside it. So so be it. And if they want to face up to death saying this God is going to send us to heaven, good luck to them. But they should not impose their particular, very kind of oversimplistic vision on rest of humanity. That's my second thing. Manishbhai, any question from you, sir?
Yes, sir. I've got a question from Tushar Patel.
Yes.
He was saying from a quantum perspective, a world only exists when there is a conscious observer. So he's saying, if I don't watch the news, TV, and social media, then does coronavirus stop existing for me?
I wish it was true. It's not true. You see, the world has come into existence because not just me observing it or you, Tushar, by observing it. The world itself is connected we are connected with each other. So if one person is observing, everybody is observing. That's why we see the same universe. So you can't suddenly say, okay, I'm going to close my eyes and the disease will disappear. It won't disappear. So you can say, I close my eyes and the moon will disappear. It won't disappear because it's in the realm of consciousness already. Doesn't matter who's watching, because consciousness is underpinning to reality, not just some individual thing. So that's not the way of escaping this coronavirus or any other disaster. One good thing I say is this. This I must, pay tribute. I was watching Bill Gates. Look, I like this man. I think he's a more spiritual person than any Hindu that I know of at the moment on the face of this earth. About 2 or 3 years ago, he gave a TED talk. And there he said something. He said, the future, the real disaster we face, for humanity faces, is not from nuclear war, that's what we fear. It is from this kind of epidemics. He said, because these are like sneaky little things that can demolish humanity. And this was about 3 years back, and nobody, of course, paid any attention. They all pay attention to nuclear armament and not fighting this kind of epidemics that might arise. They were not ready for it. Look, we are not prepared in UK. We are not prepared for it whatsoever. So this wonderful, very wise advice this man gave was not taken up. In fact, I must say this. Here is a man. Look, I like him because he's reflecting the ethos that comes from my mentor. He says, I've taken a lot of money from society. I'm very clever, I made a lot of money, but I don't want to sit on the money, put it under my bottom and sit on it and give it to my children. I want to put it back into society. So he's already, at the moment even, he's working on the ways in how he can possibly help out. So these are the lovely spiritual personalities that the world produces, not necessarily Hindu, but he's aspiring to this Hindu aspiration. So I have tremendous love for this personality, and I have tremendous dislike for many of these billionaires in India sitting on their money saying, oh, we must show big showmanship. I say, get lost. Sorry, I'm digressing a bit, but I get caught up. But is there anything, look, quantum physics will not help you. We are already in the realm of existence, and we are already going to be in a way in the realm of this nasty virus, and we have to fight with it and play, in a way, try and overcome it. Nishitbhai, any questions? Nishitbhai? I seem to have lost one of my musketeers. Manishbhai, any further?
Okay, sir, I'll jump in. So,
Yes.
So Tushar Patel also asked, is coronavirus some collective karma? Is it Prakriti acting its or is it just Prakriti acting its natural cycle?
Look, I just addressed this issue just as we started, saying don't blame the law of karma whatsoever. Simply saying the things are interconnected. That's all. It's just an observation that objects and events are interconnected. Doesn't mean there's some wild, horrible monster called law of karma saying, okay, I take the revenge on humanity and it's a collective, interaction. No. As soon as living things appear on earth, they are at the mercy of physical nature that we inhabit. We are all at the mercy of nature. You can have a tsunami, you can have an earthquake, you can have a meteor falling down on earth. We are at the mercy of the world that we exist in. We are at the mercy. But the clever thing is this, the thing that is in a way percolating through this particular frame is the spirit. It is a habit of fighting against all these kind of calamities. It has done it over thousands, millions of years done it. It's going to continue to do it. The only thing, this particular virus may stay with us for a year or so. It will change the landscape of the world. It's rattling the whole system, the economic system, the wealth system, the mindset of humanity is being severely rattled by this virus. So it is not going to go away easily, but humanity has a habit of fighting against such things. That is a sign of the spirit. You must focus on that. Take some more questions. Nishitbhai, are you there? Hello, Nishit Bhai.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay, can you ask me a question, Nishit Bhai?
Yes. So now, with the way people are forced into a lockdown at the moment, with over a quarter of the world's population in lockdown, it has, like you say, changed the way life has been. So people are now adapting and they're moving online or on virtual platforms like we are at the moment.
Indeed, Nishit Bhai.
So how do you see that religion will pivot and maybe reimagine in light of this situation?
Okay, you're cutting off because this gizmo sometimes don't work so well, but we'll do our best. Okay, first of all,
So the question was,
yes.
how do you see religions pivoting or changing themselves to adapt to the current virtual online sort of
Yes,
movement?
yes. Look, one thing we can say, there's nothing good about this. Look, this is a nasty thing that's happening to us. I can't say anything good will come out of it. I can simply say there are some side effects, if I can use the right word. The side effects are this. As we have been rattled to the core, look, I'll be very blunt. So many religions with so many gods and so on are trying to, in a way, issue. They are praying, they are worshipping, they are doing bhajans. Nothing wrong. They say, okay, I come with the serum, sort you out. Don't worry, I'm here. Has any god? So it is time your Parasi said. But in this day, there is a serious happen, rattled. They are rattled back of the creation. You've been worshipped. So if you are 100 years back, are not going to tolerate this particular vision of religion. It's going to have real trouble. It's been rattled to the core. So what will happen is the thinking youngsters will say this particular model of religion we are focusing on, or focusing on the supreme personality, has to be challenged now or to be given up. Given up is the right word. So what is the take of Hinduism? What is our take? We also have all these gods and goddesses. Do you think, Dhanvantari will come down with the serum and say, I sort you out, mankind, I'm the god of medicine. No sign of him. So what is the resolution? Look, this is what my mentor has been teaching for thousands of, for the last 100 years. He said the following, look, chaps, stop now focusing on a god in the heaven to sort you out. Stop bowing down, breaking your backbone, focusing on some supreme personality to sort you out, human beings out. He has been telling us for over 100 years, stand on your own feet and sort yourself out. There is no external God going to help you. You have to help yourself. Stand on your own feet and sort yourself out and stop bowing down to gods and goddesses. Look, this is the message. And the Hindus can't take it. They love these gods and goddesses. No, you must sing to this and that. So they've been ignoring him. Now they can't ignore his message. Because look, if you look at the world today, who is at the moment working for the humanity? Is a God coming from heaven? No. You see, the people working as doctors, as nurses, are putting their own lives in danger to try and help humanity. And so you see horror stories. I think about 14% of the people who died in Spain were doctors and nurses. People who put themselves up for the betterment of other human beings are prepared to give up their lives. Now, according to me, these are the gods on earth. Human beings who are working for the betterment of others. This is a living God on earth, not in heaven. So we see the living God now interacting with humanity to resolve a human problem, not a God from the heavens saying, hello, I'm coming down. So this is the vision that he was promoting. See and serve God in humanity. See that this thing that you're focusing on is your essential nature, and essential nature, the whole of this humanity. So this particular vision, shifting from a God in heaven to God in humanity, respecting and giving dignity to human beings. And this is, look, the only God who's going to help us now are these doctors and nurses and the care workers. They're putting their lives at risk to help rest of humanity. These are living gods here. So this vision, this transition from focusing on a God in the heaven to focusing on humanity is visible in front of our eyes now, today. In fact, I shudder to think about what these doctors and nurses are doing. So sometimes without proper equipment, they are really taking their lives in their hands and trying to help people who are struggling to breathe. And what can you say except say, oh, these are the gems on earth, real gems, real God on earth. So this is the one thing that's going to happen. Religions have to have a transition from a God in heaven to God in humanity. This cannot be avoided. He said this about 100 years ago. Nobody listened to that. This is called spiritual humanism. Nobody paid any attention to him. Now this little pesky little thing is going to force humanity to think like that or move toward that idea. It is unavoidable because all thinking youngsters from all religions will have to say something is wrong with this God chap. And this idea of serving God in humanity, something special, fighting against nature when a disaster arises, comes from him. And this will be adopted, not by me or because he's promoting it, because human beings will promote it themselves, because they recognize the validity of this particular argument. So this is the first thing that's going to happen. The old religious community will have to shift their emphasis from a God in heaven to God in humanity. It's one of the important aspects to this coronavirus. I hate to say this. I don't want coronavirus to affect humanity and put us in such dire situation, but that is, if you like, one of the side effects of what this is bringing forth. Manishbhai, any other questions from you, sir?
Yes, sir. Devin's saying, the National Doordarshan channel in India is now showing Ramayana and Mahabharata.
Yes.
Do you suggest people should watch it? And the second question is, the ideas like religious pluralism and spiritual humanism are not even, people in India are not even aware of it. Shouldn't the government do something to make them aware of these things?
Indeed. Look, it's good to watch Ramayana and Mahabharata that has been holding our hand for thousands of years, given us courage, given us kind of moral direction, perfectly fine. But at the moment, do you think we need that? We need this idea of emphasis on humanity to sort ourselves out rather than wait for a God to come and sort us out, all the superpowers. So this is, if you like, necessary requirement, but the Hindus are the last one to adopt it. I'm being very blunt. It's the Westerner who are adopting it. Can't you see this? They have been kind of dignifying humanity without the tops and tails of Hinduism, without Vivekananda, with Mr. Lakhani. So they are automatically, in a very organic manner, are moving towards that target, towards that vision. And that is where it is visible. Unfortunately, Hinduism, the tremendous inertia in India, tremendous inertia. I mean, we have been pushing very hard, Doordarshan, to start showing programs on Swami Vivekananda. And they're saying, yeah, we do this, we do this. They are focused on these kathas. And that's all they can do. So be it. So we are very stodgy and very stagnant, a system full of inertia. Indian media should have been the first one to promote these ideas and saying, look, we stand up and fight against nature and sort these things out, rather than say, oh, sing bhajan now, katha, and do Ramayana and Mahabharata. Nothing wrong with it, but look, we have to move on now. We have to evolve. This shows we are a living religion, but we don't do that. No. So we pay a heavy price. We've been pushing Doordarshan very hard, using various connections I have in India. Say, please promote this modern vision of Hinduism and stop kind of grinding this X about the ancient Hinduism. Talk about this modern Hinduism that comes from him. But they say, oh, we are thinking about it. They were still thinking about it. So be it. Sorry, Manish, I was a bit carried away because I get really worked about this. Anything else you would like to ask? Yes, you were saying something else?
No, so another question from someone is, Himanshu Sarah says, how many levels of consciousness there are? And somebody before asked, what is the relationship between consciousness and Atman?
Okay. Look, my friend, we are dealing with a very pragmatic, practical problem at the moment. If you want to go into these technicalities of the Hindu tradition, consciousness and Atman, look, Atman is of the nature of consciousness, the simple answer. So Atman is not, there are not two separate things. When you try and get a handle on the stuff like Atman or Brahman, the three words that come like magic are, it's of the nature of existence, it's of the nature of consciousness, it's of the nature of bliss. Satchit Anand or Asti Bhati Priya. So if you say what is the relationship, I say the word that you can get to get a grab on this thing called Atman is very tricky to capture, is to say it's of the nature of consciousness. We're not even saying it's conscious, of the nature of consciousness. This is how we explain it. Sorry, this is a bit technical. Let's go for some more kind of bread and butter question. Nishit, any questions from you, sir?
Well, so Jay, we were looking at, for example, how various worship services of various faiths have been closed. So closure of Sunday schools, cancellation of pilgrimages surrounding observances and festivals. Many churches, synagogues, mosques and temples have now offered worship through live stream during this time. And there's lots of different changes. But the question was, how can we as Hindu Academy use the online platform in a better way? What can you point people to resources where they can find you looking now?
Yes. Look, it's a good thing to explore. All religions in their own manner. Look, I'm not vilifying any religion. There are some kind of very oversimplistic religion giving oversimplistic resolution, which I cannot relate to. But all religions in their own way are trying to do some philanthropic activity in this difficult period. They're offering free food to the elderly people. They're doing most of this wonderful charitable work. One of the positive things that's coming out, if I can use the word positive, is that people are showing the human side. There's a lot of philanthropic activities taking place in streets, in communities, and people are going out of their way to help people who are struggling. So it's nice to see that, and it's a wonderful thing. It's a thing that's outcome, a positive thing that come out of this disaster that we face. And some of the religious organizations, I must pay tribute to them, are going out of their way to, in a way, they can't do any worship in the churches or in the temples, etc. So they think, okay, we'll supply free food, etc. And we'll use our capability or capacity to try and help out greater humanity struggling at the moment. Wonderful. Now, what is the future? This is the problem that worries me. You see, the moment they pull out the lockout and say, okay, now you can all start, mixing with each other, the virus will come back again, guaranteed. It's not good. Until you get a vaccination, this virus is not going to leave us alone. So this may drag on. You can clamp down, saying, okay, stay alone, so the virus can be kind of curtailed. And the moment you open the doors, the virus will come back again and hit some more people. So we are trying to kind of just slow down the progress of the virus, but we can't. We have not stopped it. So long term, a lot of things are going to happen which are going to really rattle the whole system, the economic system, the educational system. Look, Eton College Varieties closed down. We don't know when they'll open because you have no clue how to, when to restart. Same with all the schools and colleges throughout the world. So a lot of major disruptions are taking place because of this little pesky little virus. A lot of disruptions. And humanity being so innovative, this is the good part about humanity, this is the sign of the spirit. We'll find some ways to continue to communicate like we're doing now here, to in a way continue to interact with the greater public and using modern technology. This is the human inventions. We'll use this to in a way to fight back. So we will do all these kind of innovative things. We may start classes, studies, etc., using this kind of social media. So be it. So we are perfectly fine. You may want to say, let's do worship on social media. Nothing wrong with that. It's in a way kind of builds up your immunity, saying, yes, something is standing by me, my religion or my faith, etc. So be it. This is, and again, they have to shift from the idea of God in heaven to God in humanity, as he's suggesting. The economic world is also in a real mess at the moment, real mess. And at the moment, the government is throwing money, saying, okay, let's, help needs to come from somewhere, economics, but I can see it coming. Because how can you sustain this thing in the way it's known as at the moment? Half the things are closed down. How do you sustain people? How can they make a living? So we're going to go down the tube. So what will happen is this, or what has happened is this very frenzied materialistic vision that we have been promoting for the last, God knows, 50, 100 years. We seem to have gone wild. It's like a merry-go-round that's going faster and faster and faster. More and more frenzied lifestyle, more and more kind of, whizzing around, creating greenhouse effects. Who cares? So all that thing has suddenly come to a halt. It's been really stopped by this little pesky little virus. It's brought it to a standstill. So the world that we face now, the economic world as well, is going to change dramatically. The one thing that I can say is highly materialistic vision that we were promoting until now, which was promoted by advertisement to create greater research and funding. You must push things down people's throat even if they don't want it through advertisement. This kind of vision has now been severely hit hard. So now we have to frenzied materialistic aspiration that we've been chasing for. So this may be another kind of side effect of this particular virus. People will adopt a much more simplistic, simple lifestyle, which in a way is not frenzied, is not chasing after materialistic aspiration. So we are hoping, they may focus on the more kind of spiritual aspiration rather than materialistic aspiration that they've been chasing after for so many years. Any other questions, sir? Nishit bhai?
Not a question, but just an observation, saying
Yes.
that, no matter where you are located around the world, no matter what is your religion, race, creed, location, gender bias, whatever it is, nobody is immune from this virus. Equally, everybody.
This is a great equalizer, through religious boundaries, social boundaries, national boundaries, including our politicians and our royalty in UK. They're all at the mercy of this little pesky little fellow. So in a way, it has brought in a tremendous equality. It's not a good thing to say, but this is what's happening is one of the side effects. But this is a good observation. It is really cut across all the boundaries.
Yes. So people will have to rethink their materialistic lifestyle and see what is more important to them.
Correct. You see, in a way, a more simple lifestyle with high thinking, high aspiration is perhaps actually more satisfying, but they were not prepared to go down that line. They are very happy to go faster and faster in this frenzied lifestyle, and suddenly this little pesky little fellow has said, stop it, no more, no more, the game is over. So this is unfortunately, a sad situation, but the world will go in a depression, and in a way, out of the depression, because we live in the spirit, this thing is very dramatic. It will stand up, it will fight back. So through this difficult period, it will in a way use this challenge as an opportunity to move towards a more spiritual aspiration. We hope that is the case.
So, Dave, to ask another question, which is not to do with religion,
Yes,
but I know you are a good proponent of yoga,
yes,
and one of the things we can do is maybe we can boost our own immune system when it comes to facing this disease or keeping it at bay. And I know yoga may be of assistance. So is there something you can recommend on what people can do to assist themselves? Once they're at home, they can do exercise at home.
Look, in fact, in this difficult period where everybody has to stay in isolation and struggle because they're not used to living in isolation, they're allowed to be, they're social animals, they like to mix and match and run around. Suddenly all stopped. So in a way, it is forcing them to try and kind of address or to take on other disciplines. And I think you, Nishit Bhai, mentioned once before that in this difficult period, it's important that you have a regimen regarding how you lead your daily life. You must put in a strict regimen, otherwise you'll get scattered and you'll go really down the tube. You'll become more and more depressed. So it is good to have a regimen saying, okay, I get up at this time, I have this breakfast, and then I do this physical exercise, yoga or just physical exercise. I go for a walk, I eat this, I do this, I read this book, I study this. You may have to impose some kind of this kind of regiment on yourself to go through this difficult period. And one thing you can do, I'm promoting myself, is we've got such good material on our YouTube channel as Hindu Academy. Just if you got half an hour every day to look through some of this material, it will build you up. If nothing else, it will build you up. We're not promoting ourselves, we are promoting the potent ideas that we possess, not just for Hindus, for anybody. So a lot of good material is sitting there regarding whether it's the idea of yoga, Patanjali Yoga Sutra, etc. It's all available on our YouTube channel. This may be an excellent time for you because you got the free time and hopefully you are quiet now. You can perhaps focus on it. By the way, I said you are quiet, but in fact people are in a very frenzied state. They're really very rattled. At the moment if I say sit down and close your eyes and do yoga, they'll say, no, I'm shuddering. So people are very heavily rattled. I don't blame them. It's a frightening scenario. So at the moment they cannot sit down, sit still. So they are struggling. So unfortunately, this is the world that we live in. So we have to go through this period, but at the same time, we may be able to use this particular time to make spiritual progress, focus on some important ideals, do proper studies. In fact, you can study GCSE, Hinduism, whatever, by looking at a website. So you can do something positive, plan your day accordingly, spend some time every day to do some stuff like that. So in a way, it will hold your hand if nothing else, and it will make you a better person at the end of the day. Of course, we are hoping that we have tremendous trust in this kind of allopathic medicine and the ability for the scientists to come up with a vaccination. When it comes here, in the moment we may have slowed ourselves down, our lifestyle may have been changed to such a great extent that we will hang on to this new lifestyle, which is much more sober and sensible and much more peaceful. Hopefully that will happen.
Okay.
Manish Bhai, any question for me, sir?
Yes, sir. So just what you said, one of the question is from my talent, how do we practice karma yoga in times of corona?
Yes. You see, we are already seeing this, in the world that we live in. There are lovely individuals who are going out of their way to do selfless activity. I mean, when this government asked for volunteers to help the NHS, etc., National Health Service, immediately about 500,000 put themselves forward straight away. Of course, they'll get reorganized, they'll be retrained. But see, this is called karma yoga. You are not looking after your own interests, but looking after the greater interests. That is all karma yoga is all about. No high philosophy, don't need to read the Bhagavad Gita. If you can live for others, if you can do something for others, live your life for the betterment of others and not just your own little family, you are practicing karma yoga. So this gives us an opportunity to do that. And I'm sure just as I praise the people in England for being so kind of philanthropic, I'm sure that people in my own nation in India are equally philanthropic. And when the challenges like this come, they will stand up and do something with the greater good, even if their life is at risk. And you see, this is our tradition. It's inbuilt in us. So we should exhibit this in these kind of difficult times. Nishit Bhai, any questions, sir?
Yes, sir. If I can follow on to that question.
Yes.
So
Yes.
How did this selfless action result in being spiritual and then going on to have some spiritual experience?
Yes. Look, you see, if you do karma mark saying, okay, I want a present at the end of it, I want some, the prize at the end of it, then it's no longer karma mark. You're doing it in a very self-centered manner. That's no karma mark. You do it because you can't help yourself. You just want to help because you can't help it. You are just stuck. You must help others. You can't. Once you do it with that spirit, you're not looking for a prize at the end of it saying, now, how do I get a spiritual experience? You're not. But what happens is this. This is what what we've been teaching. When you do karma mark, that means when you're working not for personal benefit or your own family is benefit for the whole world. When you do, what happens is this. Don't care about you when you care, but you don't. When you care, but you don't give that much. This is making you spiritual without you recognizing what's happening. So if you just get, so you become others because your ego has been forgotten. So you are rubbing spiritual without needing to get a certificate. Automatically benefit because he is now in a way linked. He's getting the benefit automatically. Ishizbhai, any other further questions, sir?
We know that the right with the right person, capital lives of people who are less fortunate. So I has donated huge amount of money towards, ended up donating more than $21 billion.
Oh, what a wonderful fellow.
So that is supposed to be done is if we lived in a civilized distinction between the rich and the poor.
Yes. Capitalism, like I just mentioned, the best example I can see in the world today is somebody like Bill Gates. Billions. He's not giving it to his children. He's giving it for the greater good. He's spending it in a very systematic manner for the betterment of others. In a very controlled manner, like of being truly a capitalist, becoming anything that was making him very kind of singular and looking for my own interest. He thinks his family. So this is the way you become fit about India. Look at it's sad. I'm shuddering today to think about the coronavirus in India. The rich one will hide very happily. What about the poor? Hide from this coronavirus. How can they isolate out doing order? In fact, he visited the Ramakrishna, I think, a couple of times. And they threw him out, saying, no, do work for the greater society. Thank God they said that. Rather than just jump in saying, I want to become a monk. Be very mature in the way you take this forward. I can't guide you from here. I have no idea what is your capacity and what are your abilities. So it's better for you to decide for yourself. Anything else you want to ask, sir?
Yes, sir. So,
yeah, go on. Yeah, go on, Manish bhai.
Ego's question. Would coronavirus demolish the egocentric world?
It is doing it in its own way. As you can see, it's bringing tremendous equality. Whether you're a prime minister or a prince, you get the coronavirus. Nobody's saved. So your ego cannot save you saying, I'm the prince of this country. You still get whacked. So the ego has been put on the back burner saying everybody's on the same level. So in a way, the ego has been told your individuality is at my mercy, says this coronavirus. So this is all I can say. Nishidbhai, anything from you, sir?
Yeah, so Jayabhai, in today's world, a lot of people are usually thinking, what's in it for me? It's all about the ego and what they can get out of whatever dealing they're having with the opposite person, etc., etc. You've always mentioned that, we are all at one, underlying all of this that we see. I see the divine in others.
With great difficulty, that's the right way. With great difficulty. I struggle all the time because a lot of people bite me for no reason, even though I've done nothing wrong. They come and bite me and I say, okay, smile and say, carry on, what to do? This is the way of the world. So we have to learn to live with the way the world is not going to be kind of, happy with us trying to see God in humanity. They say no. So we play, we smile and we carry on. That's all I can say.
Okay. I was looking at some questions being posted online. Somebody asked me, have you dealt with these keys enough? And do it, what do I do with that?
This is the thing that we've been caught up with, the name of the game. You'll go in the morning in London, the churches are empty, the temples were reasonably empty, the supermarkets full, even at the moment it's even worse. So we have been kind of weaned on the idea of consumerism. The role of human beings to be consumers, keep eating more, drinking more, testing more things. And how does this happen? Through advertisement. Advertisement is a very powerful ploy to make us feel, unsatisfied with what we have. It makes us feel that no, we don't have enough. We need this new car or this new house, etc. So it makes you dissatisfied with what you have. This is the aim of advertisement. To make you feel happy. Are you happy? Oh, good, carry on. That's the right way. But they won't say that because then they can't sell more goods. They can't shove more goods down your throat. And for them to carry on with the research, etc., and development and produce new gizmos, they have to push this idea into your system, saying you have to buy this new stuff. The old stuff is outdated. So they have to push it through. But all that is come to a halt suddenly with this coronavirus. So he said, look, what I have got is enough. I don't need to buy a new model or this new particular gizmo. I'm happy with the model that I have. So in a way, it has brought in satisfaction, santosh in the system. It has forced, if I can use the word, santosh, saying that at the moment your money is very tight anyway, so you must be happy with what you have. It has forced us to become less frenzied and less kind of consumer, a less important consumer than we used to be. So be it. So in a way, the coronavirus has produced a lot of side effects. The religious community as well as the commercial community. I suspect we're going to go through a very difficult economical life with simple living.
Okay, I have just one last question.
Okay, sir.
And I'm ready to bring it to a close with a quote.
Okay.
On the bias question.
Okay.
And the question is, at this point in time, what are you grateful for?
You see, I'm grateful for the following. Whenever challenges come, if you can turn the challenge into opportunities, then you see I'm grateful for the challenges. See, you say, oh, Mr. Lakhani, you're grateful for coronavirus. I'm saying every challenge in a way brings out the best in me or best in humanity. So this is the perfect opportunity to say we are really pushed to the wall. We are struggling. The whole of humanity is struggling, pushed to the wall and kind of coming out with full force. So this challenge becomes an opportunity for me to explore my real nature as something dramatically powerful, strong, of not just me, humanity, for it to kind of express its kind of deeper vision and deeper kind of aspirations. So this challenge can become an opportunity provided we see it as such. It's not, at the moment, nobody can see it as such. People are shuddering and I don't blame them. It is a frightening scenario. But in a way, the only good thing I can say, what I can say is this severe challenge is forcing me to kind of look deeper within myself and say, is there something here that can react to it, can produce a response? And the answer is yes, there is. This is the sign of the Spirit. We have done it many a times, and this is not the first time we got this kind of serious challenge. I mean, imagine all the plagues, smallpox, yellow fever, everything that we've been hit, humanity has been hit with so many different plagues and viruses, and you have come out fighting. This is a sign of the Spirit, our true nature. So that's the only positive thing I can say about what we are facing at the moment. I think we should conclude with that, Nishit Bhai, so I leave it to you.
Okay, fine. So I have a question.
Sorry, Manish Bhai wants to say something. Go, Manish Bhai. Manish Bhai.
Sir, we got a couple of questions from Andres, if I may ask before we close.
Please.
So the question is, he's asking, was Jesus real person? And second question he's asking is,
Betterment of humanity seems to have been a good ancient idea, but the transition is now taking place. You may think that avatar means, Vishnu coming down as Ram or Krishna or Buddha, whatever, but in reality, this is again from him. Don't you realize every living thing, every human being is an avatar? So when you say, want to worship avatar, worship the living avatar. Everybody is an avatar. You see, so initially people said, when I said this at Brighton University at the postgraduate level, they said, Mr. Lakhani, you're trying to say all of us are. I say, yes. This is the depth of Hindu teaching, saying it's not that one or two people, or some super personality comes down and says, I'm avatar. Everybody is an avatar. Recognize the dignity and divinity of whole of humanity as an avatar. So it's not that avatar comes. So the film Avatar in a way is telling us the thing that is in a way inhabiting all of us is the Spirit. I think we should finish, Manish Bhai, Nishit Bhai, let's finish with your quote now. Okay.
I'd like to finish with a quote from Swami Vivekananda, which goes, that all differences in this world are of degree and not of kind, because oneness is the secret of everything.
Thank you, sir. I think we should conclude with that. Thank you for everybody for participating and interacting with us. We hope to do this again next. Sorry, Manish Bhai, Nishit Bhai. Sorry, Manish Bhai.
Just a question. Are we doing extra session on after couple of days or?
We'll take it as it comes. At the moment, I think human beings are so rattled, who our viewers are rattled so much, their mind cannot focus on deeper visions. As I said, they're thinking about their tomorrow, where are they getting the food from, how they can protect their family. So we don't want, they're very rattled. They're not in the right frame of mind for us to do regular sessions for the time being. But we will continue with our Saturday sessions, for the time being. Thank you very much. Thank you, Manish Bhai and Nishit Bhai, for participating and helping me out. Thank you, sir.
Everyone have a safe weekend and enjoy